It's great that there was no news, but NASCAR was at a heightened attention about things like this weekend for good reason. There was evidence to be. Also, it's a great thing that with the specter of potential racism within their walls, all of the drivers marched and walked with Bubba Wallace. It does not erase that moment. Now, whether that moment would have happened without the idea that there was a noose certainly is debatable. But if every driver within NASCAR and every crew member was responding to, let's just say on social media, Bubba Wallace being called the N-word, or let's just say that they were walking in response to Bubba Wallace being called the N-word by a fan. Let's just say they were walking with Bubba Wallace because they had seen that he had taken the brunt of the frustration from NASCAR fans that wanted the Confederate flag or didn't like Black Lives Matter or didn't want their politics mixed with their sports or whatever, and were just going, you know what, we stand with Bubba. That would have been just as equally great. It's actually not why they marched. It's that they marched. It's that in the face of what they thought one of their teammates, one of their drivers, one of their peers was going through, they wanted to show solidarity. It doesn't matter why they showed solidarity. It's that they did show solidarity. So I thought this was a great outcome. It shows that NASCAR took everything really seriously. It shows that NASCAR wasn't trying to bury anything that they saw just because they figured, oh, maybe it's not what we think. And it was a show that NASCAR and its drivers and its crew members, crew members, its media, and many of its fans said, to hell with racism. We don't stand with that. We stand with Bubba Wallace. That's the best outcome that could have happened at Talladega. And for all of the NASCAR fans that has forever said, I don't like the racist overtones or undertones. I don't like the idea that people think that we can't move forward. I don't like the idea that we have not had a black driver in NASCAR for 30 or 40 years since Wendell Scott. I'm glad that we can move past that. This was a great weekend for you because you saw your sport take real steps to make sure what they worried was the worst case scenario couldn't happen again or wouldn't happen again. It turned out it was not worst case scenario, which is great. And they proved that if worst case scenario came up, they would deal with it. And the drivers and the circuit and the media would rally behind it. Great. It was all great. Thank goodness that was not a noose. Thank goodness it didn't turn out that way. And thank goodness NASCAR responded the way that it did because it shows a template for what would happen under worst case scenario.